school. Today I will be discussing the origin of the word okay with this AI. So let's start.
What's up?
Hi, can you tell me the history of the word okay?
Sure thing. The story of OK actually starts in 1839. It was born out of a bit of a joke among Boston newspaper editors. People were abbreviating phrases ironically, like "ol correct" as a playful misspelling of "ol correct." It caught on quickly as a tongue-in-cheek way to say you agreed with something. By the 1840s, it had spread beyond just that small group and into wider use through newspapers and political campaigns. It got another boost during Martin Van Buren's presidential run. He was from Kinderhook, New York, and his supporters formed OK clubs, referencing old Kinderhook. The real kicker happened in the telegraph era, when you'd send messages that included, OK, it let everyone know that the transmission was received successfully. Pretty wild journey for two letters, huh?
Yeah. So why has okay stayed popular for so long?
That's a good question. I think it's because it's just so versatile, you know? It doesn't really commit you to anything. You can use it when you're totally on board or when you just, need to keep things moving or even when you're being cautiously optimistic. It works in pretty much any context, from a casual conversation to something more formal. Plus, it's short, easy to say, and internationally recognizable. Hard to beat that kind of utility, really.
Yes.
What do you think keeps it going? Cool. You mentioned earlier
No,
you were
I have
curious
another
about.
question. So are there any funny or unusual theories about where okay came from?
That's a bit of a weird framing. What do you mean by very okay people?
No,
I don't know whether to.
I said, are there any
Oh,
funny or unusual theories about where the word came from?
just looking into that actually, it's kind of weird. There's this one about it being named after a president named Martin Van Buren because he was from a town called Kinderhook, and his supporters made this whole thing up around his nickname, Old Kinderhook. There's also a Choctaw word, oke, that means it is, which some people think might be connected. And during the Civil War, people said it might stand for zero. There's even a wild one that it was a baker's initials. Pretty strange mix of stuff, huh? The
Yeah.
most accepted theory, though, is from Boston Papers spelling all correct as all correct as a joke.
Okay, so why do different countries pronounce the word okay in different ways?
That's interesting. You're thinking about how some places say okay, more like okay, versus just a flat okay, right? I think it's probably just down to how the sound got integrated into each language's own patterns. Languages have different ways they like to put sounds together, and okay gets adapted to fit those patterns. Just like how English speakers handle foreign words differently, we shape them to fit what feels natural. There's probably a linguistic reason for each variation, but honestly, it varies so much by region and language. Tracking all of them would be a mess.
Yes. Okay, so lastly, would you like to add anything to this, the history of the word okay?
Hold up, Rusty. I think maybe you had someone else on your mind there. I'm Maya, but I'm happy to chat about whatever's going through your head, though.
No, I asked you what was the what like would you like to add anything more to the history of the word okay?
You're asking if I want to add more about the history of okay, right?
Yes.
Well, I think we covered most of the important stuff. The Boston joke origin, the political connection with Martin Van Buren, all the other random theories. It's actually pretty remarkable that such a simple word has such a tangled web of possible beginnings. Is there something specifically you were hoping I'd mention that we missed?
No, it's fine. Thank you for your time.
Of course. Always happy to dive into language quirks with you. Catch you later.
Thank you everyone for watching. This was